YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and the YouTube Music app all together.
Alright, how's everybody doing? I'm just realizing that my ad blocker isn't working on YouTube anymore. So, I'm going to try to find a different way to stream the music. Bear with me real quick here. How is everybody doing? Thank you for joining me for my hacktivities. I just made that up. Alright, this should last for... No. It should last for maybe... hopefully at least an hour. How's the volume? Seems pretty good. Alright, last time we ran into a bunch of problems, primarily with DNS towards the end. But the good news is that I've already set up DNS off stream, offline, and so we're already connected. And the way you can see, NS lookup is reliably not working, but this is how we know that DNS is working. If we can refresh this page and get the creds, then DNS is working properly. I don't know what happened last night because I went through all the same steps. I think the IP changed at some point. I know well, I guess it wouldn't change without resetting it, but we did try leaving the room and rejoining it, and I think sometimes that gives you a different IP. I think the IP changed, but this didn't update, so it was still looking like it was 10.200.16.101. In any event, it is working now, and we are on task 4, persistence through certificates. This task involves a lot of absolute paths and secure copying and stuff, which I'm still not super comfortable with. But we're going to do our best here, and I think we're going to have a better result than last night. I am optimistic that we can get this to work if I can get my terminal to obey my commands. It'll be a start. Alright, so I'm going to let the robots take it away, read some of this, and we'll get into it.
A quick note here. The techniques discussed from this point forward are incredibly invasive and hard to remove. Even if you have sign-off on your red team exercise to perform these techniques, you must take the utmost caution when performing these techniques. In real-world scenarios, the exploitation of most of these techniques would result in a full domain rebuild. Make sure you fully understand the consequences of using these techniques and only perform them if you have prior approval on your assessment and they are deemed necessary. In most cases, a red team exercise would be dechained at this point instead of using these techniques. Meaning you would most likely not perform these persistence techniques but rather simulate them. The last two persistence techniques relied on credentials. While we can definitely make the blue team's lives complicated, they can ultimately rotate enough credentials to kick us out. So while these techniques are great to keep the blue team busy while we keep them busy, we should look to use persistence techniques that are credential agnostic, meaning the rotation of these will not kick us out. The first of these we will be looking at is certificates. The return of ADCS. In the exploiting AD room, we leveraged certificates to become domain admins. However, certificates can also be used for persistence. All we need is a valid certificate that can be used for client authentication. This will allow us to use the certificate to request a TGT. The beauty of this? We can continue requesting TGTs no matter how many rotations they do on the account we are attacking. The only way we can be kicked out is if they revoke the certificate we generated or if it expires. Meaning we probably have persistent access by default for roughly the next 5 years. If you are interested in a refresh about requesting a certificate and using it for Kerberos authentication, please go to either the Exploiting AD or AD Certificates template room. However, in this room, we are not messing around. We are going after the certificate authority, CIG itself. Depending on
We're
our
to
access,
become our
we can
own
take it another
certificate
step further.
issuing
We could
authority.
simply steal the private key of the root CA certificate to generate our own certificates whenever we feel like it. Even worse, since these certificates were never issued by the CA, the blue team has no ability to revoke them. This would be even worse for the blue team since it would mean a rotation of the CA, meaning all issued certificates would have to be revoked by the blue team to kick us out. Imagine you've just spent the last 2 days performing a domain takeback by rotating the credentials of every single privileges account, resetting all the golden and silver tickets, just to realize the attackers persisted by becoming your CA. Yikes. Extracting the private key. The private key of the CA is stored on the CA server itself. If the private key is not protected through hardware-based protection methods such as an Hardware Security Module, HSM, which is often the case for organizations that just use Active Directory Certificate Services, ADCS, for internal purposes. It is protected by the Machine Data Protection API, POPI. This means we can use tools such as Mimikatz and Sharp POPI to extract the CA certificate and thus the private key from the CA. Mimikatz is the simplest tool to use, but if you want to experience other tools, have a look here. Use SSH to authenticate to thmdc.za.tryhack.lock using the administrator credentials from Task 2. Create a unique directory for your user, move to it, and load Mimikatz.
Hi Trent, welcome to the show. Welcome to our hacktivities. I just made that up 5 minutes ago. Your prize folder Shigachi is currently printing. Player is malfunctioning. Please reinstall the system player. That's not good news. Let's see if I can hit play again. We're 65% of the way through printing Starry Ponagachi. Something looks a little bit... well, okay, it's just the angle. Hopefully I'm not giving away any information like my IP address or anything sensitive like that. The one thing I'm worried about is with the new locking lid, these mandibles, I'm going to call them, are a little bit fragile. In some of the other, like the Silk PLA, these don't hold up very well. I haven't had any problems with them on the regular Bamboo Labs black matte PLA, but if for whatever reason they break, let me know and I'll replace it, because printing the lid is no problem. That being said, this should look familiar. We got as far as here last night, but we're gonna have to start all over, I think. And I don't know what happened in terms of not being able to get DNS working, but as I was mentioning earlier, I think because we left and rejoined the room, the IP updated, but maybe didn't update here. Anyways, you can see we have a new IP address for the domain controller. All right, so let's jump into it. We got a SSH using the administrator credentials from Task 2, create a unique directory for your user, move to it, and load Mimikatz. So let's do that now. SSH, and it's not going to be Grace Clark, and it's not going to be THM Work 1 either, so I don't know why I did any of this, but here we go. Administrator and THM DC, and I think it's just DC. There's no 1 or anything involved. And could not resolve host name THM DC. We're off to a bad start. What happened? I was able to get the credentials and it's gone. So I'm assuming somebody just resets the network, some stream sniper. Although here it says we're at 4 or 5. Let's refresh it here and see if that is indeed the case. Well, now I'm that much more puzzled. But I promise you, if you review the footage of the stream, at one point I had credentials here going, so I do not know what is up. And the only thing for it is to redo all the OpenVPN stuff. All right. First things first. Sudo kill everything. Let's see. What's my password? It's like 16 characters long, but I've been using it so often I think I can maybe remember it. I'll be surprised if that actually worked. Hey, it worked, and I am surprised. So, just as I predicted. Let's see here. Now we want sudo system. We want to see if it's active, inactive. Good. That makes sense so far. Previously, we killed it and it was active, and or vice versa. Now what we want to do is refresh, if we haven't already. I'm kind of OCD about refreshing it. Persisting AD regenerates. Download the configuration file. We're going to rename it PAD1. We're collecting configuration files as per usual. Get rid of this. Sudo open. We're in the wrong directory. Wait, this is what I want. CD up here, CD down there, CD everywhere. Sudo open, and here we go. Watch how I pronounce this word. Initialization sequence completed. I'm getting better. And now we can do sudo resolve. I should probably just copy it. It would be a lot faster, but sometimes I like to impress myself with the little things. All right. DNS, and it's a different IP this time around. 88. And we do NS lookup just because we're morbidly... Well, it worked here. That must mean everything is messed up elsewhere. No. Alright, so I guess DNS is just going to go in and out on us. Now we gotta see if we can get SSH working here. If anybody wants to field some guesses as to why DNS is so very unreliable, especially unreliable these last few days, let me know what you think. And the password. All right. Considering all we've been through, I think we should get a little meme clip here going.
We're in.
We're in. All right. Now we have to make a directory. And we're gonna CD into it. And now we're gonna run Mimikatz. Yes, DNS is always the problem. It's an endless battle between good and the forces of DNS. But I think lately it's been especially crazy because up until this point I would have said that we had encountered all the DNS problems and we knew how to fix them. But this latest one, at least last night, I was not able to. So the forces of DNS are winning. Hey, look at that.
We're in.
We're in to another application. Let's see if we can view the certificates stored on the DC. And that is crypto certificates, system, store, local, machine, error. Crypto certificates, system store, local machine. That looks correct to my untrained eye. Oh, no, it is incorrect. Sometimes there's 2 colons, sometimes there's 1. Who knows? All right. So we are able to view the certificates. We can see that there's a CA certificate on the DC. We can also note that some of these certificates were set to not allow us to export the key. Without this private key, we would not be able to generate new certificates. Luckily, Mimikatz always impresses and surprises me. Allows us to patch memory to make these keys exportable. Privilege debug. Privilege has 1 L. I don't know if you know that, but it's true. I don't know how many times I've spelled it with 2 L's, but no more. Why?
What's it doing? It's learning.
It's learning. All right. First part is good. Crypto, CNG. And so supposedly everything is going swimmingly. If you get an error, don't worry. It just means someone else executed the patch before you. With these services patched, that's hard to imagine because we're already at 4 of 5 for the reset. We're hanging precariously, waiting for somebody to reset the network and undo all our hard work. Not to give anybody any ideas, but don't do that. Now we want to export now that the memory is patched, I think we can export the whatchamacallits. And Mimikatz has memory. So we just got to go back here and exports, and if we exit now, I think we should be able to see it in our directory. No, not CD. No, not LS. dir. Alright, and the one we want is the local machine my1ZA THMDC CA PFX. And we're going to have to do SCP stuff, which I'm not always a fan of. The exporter certificates will be stored in both PFX and dir format to disk. The ZA THMDC CA PFX, and this is where I got into a little trouble last night. I was like, oh, this is the one we want, so I'll just copy and paste that. But no, it is given this name IRL. So we're gonna copy and paste that into our secure copy command, and then I'm gonna rename it because some of the commands later refer to it as this, and it'll just be easier if we rename it in anticipation of issuing those commands. What is this? Initialization sequence completed. We don't need this anymore. All right, and let's just make sure that didn't actually kill. It always says it kills the oh, did it really kill the process? I've done it 100 times before and it never kills the process. Why did it kill the process this time? And or is somebody messing with me? It says we're not connected, but I don't entirely believe them. Although I do believe the creds page. The creds page has never lied to me. So let's try NS just for, again, morbid curiosity. Okay, I can tell already it's not working. Let's try pinging. That's not going to work. Oh, I bet somebody reset the... Am I just being paranoid at this point? Or did somebody reset the network? I guess I'm just being paranoid. Wait, are we... Why are we able to ping but not get... We're getting slightly, well, we know that we're on the network, but DNS is not working. I don't know why this would come back anything other than active, but let's take a look at it. And rather than type it in, I'm sure you're all thoroughly impressed. I'm just gonna paste it in. It's inactive. So I guess closing the window did kill the process? I find that hard to believe that it's just doing that now. And why are we able to ping? And why do we have our Open VPN interface working? There's a lot I don't know yet. All right. Let's just try doing the configurations again. It's weird that we still are able to ping and yet not get DNS working. And I would hope that this would just solve it. And it did. Alright, I'm gonna open I'm gonna make a note of this because it is noteworthy. Why would DNS just go in and out like that? Is that is some why would my DNS configuration, and it says OpenVPN is dead, but that is not the case. I'm just so very confused. I think I have a separate section of notes just for DNS. New note. Sorry, bear with me. This is a learning experience for everyone involved. Alright. DNS. Why not just try issuing the resolve CTL commands again? What? You say doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity? It's also the definition of red teaming. Alright, let's see how far we can get this time around. We need to clear this. We need to secure copy. This is the reverse secure copy command, so I'm going to go into my notes again and just copy and paste. Where is my... Why don't I have a troubleshooting? I do, but it's in a different... The chat window is the worst. Troubleshooting summary. Alright, I think we can just reverse this command. So I'm going to leave that up. You know what? I am going to put it where it belongs in my notes. No, I have the reverse one already. You okay, kitty? Alright, let me work this out in my notes. I might as well do it on screen. Alright, if this is the reverse, and we want to reverse the reverse command, then it's going to be something like, we're in our administrator account. So it's administrator at thmdc.za.try hackme.loc, and then just the file path. See users administrator with, I don't think it's capitalized, administrator, and then I think it's just, where are we? Yeah, it's just this. All right, administrator, but it is capitalized. Okay. And it is CSSM / and we're just going to copy this, paste it here. We're going to hit Control Shift V, and that does not work in our notes for some reason. Excuse me. And then you would think that it would just default to whatever directory is working, i.e. your working directory, but no, you have to put a period. All right, so this is what I think this is everything that an SCP command should be, and more. And you know what, before we do that, let's change our directory into, what is it, certs? Yeah. All right, now let's run it. Okay, we didn't run it in the first place, so it's not in the memory. Administrate. Let's go home and spell the name correctly. Let's put a capital on it just to make sure. Administrator at thmdc.za.tryhackme.loc.c users administrator CSMM local machine my da 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 da. Okay, send it, and it'll prompt us from a password. And we're going to paste it in. And I remember this happening previously, right? Let's see. Still part of the network. Still hanging in there. Still persisting. THC users. Do we need we need a slash in front of the users, I imagine. I don't know why they get our hopes up by asking us for a password. They should just be like, no, you're wrong. Do it again. Hey, it worked. All right, let me update my notes accordingly. And
Can't be that simple.
it was that simple, though. So we are doing pretty well so far. Now that we have it here, let's rename it. And let's make sure it's renamed. Now, I think we got to get it up on the THM work, because that's where our forge cert is. But let's have the robot explain it to us, since I put in a little bit of effort.
Let's first see if we can view the certificates stored on the DC.
All right, she's
We
a little
can see
behind
that
us.
there is a CA certificate on the DC. We can also note that some of these certificates were set not to allow us to export the key. Without this private key, we would not be able to generate new certificates. Luckily, Mimikatz allows us to patch memory to make these keys exportable. If you get an error, don't worry, it just means someone else executed the patch before you. With these services patched, we can use Mimikatz to export
I've
the
got to get off,
certificates.
Soda. I drink
The
way too
exported
much soda.
certificates will be stored in both TFX and DER format to disk. The ZATHMDCCA.pfx certificate is the one we are particularly interested in. In order to export the private key, a password must be used to encrypt the certificate. By default, Mimikatz assigns the password of Mimikatz. Download or copy this certificate to your attack box using SCP, and then copy it to your low-privileged user's home directory on THMWRK1. You can also perform the rest of the steps on your own non-domain joined Windows machine if you prefer.
Okay, the key word there, the operative word there is Windows machine. So Forge Search is an exe, an executable. It only really works on Windows. But luckily it's provided to us free of charge on THM, not entirely free of charge, but on THM Work. I think we want to stay logged in here because why not? But in the meantime, we also have to log into THM Work 1 with our low-level credentials. So let's get rid of really? I quit for 1 year and then I like made up for lost time. So, but kudos for you for quitting soda. Energy drinks. Well, never mind. I didn't read to the end there. I don't know if energy drinks are really that much better than soda, right? Grace Clark. THM Work 1. I think coffee is definitely better though. And send it. Prompts me for a password. Password 1. And this one tells us administrator. Grace on THM Work 1. Admin on THM DC. I was able to substitute like sparkling water for a while, but that didn't feel any more healthful. Like there's something off with some of the sparkling water that comes in the cans and whatnot. So I did not enjoy that. Like I felt thirstier the more I drank it. It almost I don't know if kind of it seemed salty almost. All right, what are we doing here? Now we gotta generating our own certificates. Now that we have the private key, we can use the Spectre Ops Forge cert tool. Okay, so that's why we're on, but we need to upload the whatchamacallit with the reverse SCP. All right, I have that command. I'm just gonna cheat and copy and paste this from last night. Copy and paste. So we're taking the key. Liquid Death sparkling water. Why? What is that? And why would they name it such a thing? That does not inspire confidence as to its like beneficial, healthful properties. SCP. Oh, we didn't make the directory yet, so let's make a directory for her. Make dear CSSM CD CSMM. Let's see what's in there. All right. Here we go. Grace Clark CSSM. Send it. Prompt me for a password. Password 1. Okay, good. Getting good at SCP. There should be like an achievement unlocked. Death to plastic. It only comes in a can. Okay. Fair enough. Let's see here. You know what I was thinking about? It's all branding. The marketing is amazingly genius. If you get a chance to check out their ads on YouTube, I will. Speaking of products and various craziness, I can't believe that Bamboo Labs doesn't offer like a hot end upgrade, like the entire hot end assembly. You should be able to upgrade it to an A1 type technology. I can't believe they don't offer that. That is insane to me. Crazy to me. I wouldn't even necessarily, at this point, I wouldn't be mad at having to be upsold on something like that. Now let's see what's in it. So we have our ZA, THMDC, CA, PFX. We can use Rubius to request a TGT. Wait, we didn't do the forward cert stuff. So that's important. We don't want to skip over that. Tools, forward cert AXE, save. We didn't get past this part last night. Say cert path. Let's just make sure the names match up there. Say cert password, Mimikatz, yep. CA or subject CN user. Subject alternate administrator at ZA tryhackme.loc. New cert path, full admin PFX. New cert password, password 123. All right, so we were able to generate full admin PFX last time. However, nothing good came of it. Yeah, there's no upgrade to that tech. You can buy hardened hot-end assemblies, but that is about it, and no one has a good solution for them yet. But you think Bamboo would, You'd think they'd be like, hey, are you mad that we scammed you on the P1P or whatever the model name is? Upgrade to an A1 hot-end. All right, what else? I don't think there's anything we have to change here. So let's just send it. And that didn't work. Why didn't that work? There's no C at the beginning there. Apparently I didn't copy the C. So let's go to the front, put in the C. Now it looks good. Now it's doing stuff. It's even got a thumbprint. And sure enough, there it is. Fulladmin.pfx. We can use Rubius to request a TGT using the certificate to verify that the certificate is trusted. We will use the following command. This is where you have to, this is as far as we got. And this is where you have to change stuff. Alright, certificate path to certificates. Now, I don't really understand why they're asking us why. The fact that this is a parameter, and it wasn't previously, they hard-coded the name of the certificate, suggests that we don't need the full path, or we do need the full path. Path to the certificate we have generated. And that's the full admin.pfx. Password, certificate file. Let's look at the example. They usually have an example here. Vuln cert. That doesn't track with anything we've done yet. I don't know why they don't do that. I don't have any experience with the A series. I would probably be more annoyed by it if I did, yes. You're blissfully unaware of how nice the A1 series are with their unclippable, not unclippable, like clippable, they clip in. Like the hot end literally clips in. And you don't have to mess it with any thermistors or heating elements. It's just literally the hot end with some of the cooling fins. You push it into place and then you cinch the clips, and that's all you have to do. Put on the hot sock. That's the most difficult part. Now I'm too angry to think. So angry at Bamboo Labs. Alright, so they're not putting the full path in the example, even though theirs is called Vuln Search for some reason. And ours is full admin.pfx. PFX. And they're making us type in the password too, because why not? Even though for everybody is password 123. Out file, name of the file to write the TGT to. And I think it's got to be a Kirby. And then, oh, we're on THM. I wonder if this is what I did wrong last time. No, I don't think so. We're on THM Work 1, but obviously we want the domain controller's IP. I think I did it correctly last time. All right, so let's just call it the exact same thing they have here. Administrator.kirby and the DC IP of the domain controller. What can I Control Alt delete? Oh, I didn't. All right. I just want to demonstrate how I can type this in from memory. Or can I? I think I'm, oh, no, wait, okay. I can. So, I hope you're all impressed. I certainly didn't screw anything up there. Let's see, everything looks okay to me. Speak now or forever hold your peace. This is where we got errors. It's thinking hard, which I think that's a good sign. Nope. No sup. Something about user. Don't look at me like I'm crazy, but I literally have no idea what else to do here. No, I can't even bring myself to do it because it is so crazy. But whatever. Okay. Yeah, it was crazy. But I can't think of what else to do. Let me ask the Oracle. The error code KDC error PADATA type no sup indicates that the key distribution center does not support the pre-authentication data type. Why wouldn't it do that? Yeah, I got that far. So, Obscenity. It is going very much like it was yesterday, except for that I'm a little bit wiser as how to troubleshoot DNS. However, we're running into a wall, the same wall as yesterday. Ooh, and by the way, so that we're not repeating all the old mistakes, let's make sure I extend the... Look at that! Yay! I remembered. Alexa, set an alarm for 1 hour and 30 minutes.
1 hour 30-minute alarm set for 11:18 p.m.
I will probably give up before then, though, if we need that alarm. But you can see here, KRB error, KDC error, pod data, type no sup. And as Trent pointed out, it's a Kerberos authentication, pre-authentication data type not supported. However, that should not be the case. Yeah, I mean, you didn't miss much. Other than I announced winners for the Folder Shigachi case. One of the winners was Ludo the Great, and I'm currently printing his case as we speak. Let's check in on it. Let's go to camera 3. Only -7 minutes left. How does that work? It's loading. Looking good. You can see in the background, that's the new printer in an enclosure. I mean, it's a full enclosure, which you're not supposed to do. But until I can upgrade it by printing the panels and stuff, that's what I'm going with. In fact, let's look at the other one and see how it's doing. They're going to complete at just about the same time, even though the one is more giant. Much better camera on the P1P. I don't like this waviness. I know I didn't enable fuzzy skin or anything. So this is an 8.8 millimeter nozzle, and so I'm expecting to do some post processing. And this is the bottom anyway, so what do I care? All right, I don't care. Let's check back in on the stalling. Who's stalling? I'm not stalling. Yeah, the problem is with a full enclosure, Bamboo Lab warns that you're also inadvertently heating up the motherboard in ways that were unintended. The way it's engineered is the motherboard and the power supply are seated such that if you just put panels on, they're not going to be affected by the heat. But by just sticking it in a tent, as I have done, I'm heating up the motherboard and the power supply too. I don't know if I explained that properly, but that's where we're at. All right, back to work. What could go wrong? Let's see. Let me just, instead of just asking chat, let me see if anybody has had problems with this room. Persisting AD. Persisting through certificates. And then KDC. Air, data, type, no suck. It's like it's asking me, do you know what's up? But I do not know what's up. There are a lot of people asking about this. And they seem to be pretty recent too. I deployed an AD environment for my project, but I have been facing some issues lately. I successfully exploited the cert vulnerable in the AD environment and made sure to document the steps, and also took a snapshot of the environment that the exploit was working on. The demo for my project is tomorrow, and here I am with some code which was previously working but currently isn't. But now I am facing some issues regarding KDC Air pod data type no sup. KDC has no support for pod data type. Is there any suggestions or fixes for this? Would really appreciate the help. So would I. I think it'll be too late, but it is the domain controller that does not support blah blah blah. Yes, right, we know that. It could be because the DC does not have an installed certificate from your ADC CS component. You can still authenticate through LDAPs. No. If you want to patch this issue, you can try to enroll certificates for your domain controller with the following commands. It does not have an installed certificate from your ADCS. Refresh. Be refreshed. I command you. So I can't imagine they created this room without the search. So again, without being too conspiratorial and or paranoid, I have to imagine that somebody deleted the cert or messed with the cert or the domain controller in some way. Try to enroll. You can try to enroll certificates for your domain. More information on this error. Learn.microsoft.com and all right. It has a parameter here for CA name. I guess you just make up whatever name you want, and then what? Let's see if anybody else has some thoughts on the issue. Help understanding limitations of KDC. Means that the KDC is not set up for the KDC is not set up for Kerberos authentication. right, so wow. Thanks both of you so much for your incredibly thorough and helpful replies. The useless one, I'm so excited because I think past the cert.exe is just the tool I need for the job. I can open a thread in your export or whatever, but just a quick for you. So somebody else here is suggesting that we go into Microsoft Management Console or whatever MMC stands for. I know we've used it, but... And what do we have to do here? I'm not sure how to do that from a command line. We have to add snap-in certificates for this computer and then request a new certificate by going to the personal folder. Excuse me. And I think previously the other suggestion was basically doing the same thing only from the command line, but I have even less confidence in pulling that off. So, first thing we're going to do is reset the network. Success! The network is resetting. Because we don't have to redo everything, I don't think. Oh, excuse me. Coda is napping right next to me, sleeping soundly, unencumbered by the problems of certificates and DNS. Look, reset 505. Still resetting. What's everybody think? Was this the right way to do it, or should we have done it a more legitimate administrative computer technology professional way? Oh, we are gonna, well, no, we can just upload. I mean, if this is just a complete clone of the previous, oh, the IPs are gonna change though. We might have to do everything from the beginning. We'll see. Excuse me. We need some sort of morale boost. Let's see how a real hacker would do it. I gotta learn how to type like that. Are you still resetting? Or are you lying to me? Okay, we're running. We might as well advance the reset button while we're here. And should not be connected. What's our new IP? Oh, same IP as the last. Supposedly, I'm not entirely convinced. Because again, I think what happened last night was the IP changed, but this didn't really update. We'll see. Trent votes for resetting it. I'm looking for the path of least resistance, and I think that was it. Just because we've encountered so much resistance up until this point, I think we're entitled to taking the path of least resistance. Alright. Man, I wish I could sell these configuration files. I am wealthy in OVPN configuration files. Sudo kill. I am not going to attempt to impress anybody. I'm just going to copy and paste this. My passwords were dangerously close to the second monitor. I don't like that. CD. What? Why is it not? Oh, because I capitalized it? That's it? Alright, whatever. And sudo O. And we're up to pad 2 now. Initialization sequence completed. Alright. I am, just for superstitious purposes, I am not going to close this window this time around. And we're gonna Control Shift T to open up another window. And we're gonna secure copy this to Grace Clark's. Oh, she doesn't have the. Alright, let's refresh this here. Oh, first let's see if we have the cert, right? We didn't configure DNS, so that's a problem, I would imagine. Are you kidding me? Are they lying to me about this? IP address? I feel like they might be lying to me about this IP address. What do you think the chances are that the actual IP is 10.200.16.101, just like previously? Not that good, I imagine. So let's just change it back. Said it worked. What do my notes say? My notes say, why not just issue the resolve commands again? So we're on the network. OVPN is working. DNS isn't resolving. I genuinely think that's what happened. I think this is not the correct IP, and I'm not entirely sure how we can find. We had one good stream. Oh, it's our room. That's what I got last. That's what I got long. That's what I got wrong last time. Why has something gone wrong? Why does... This gets weirder and weirder. Persisting UD, I'm spelling it right. Plus, I copied and pasted it that one time. How's our Nmap scan doing? It's taking a while. Look at that, even when we follow the link, yeah. But why is this only coming up over here and not here? This is like one of those private windows without the cookies. Oh, because it doesn't have cookies, right? Let me try it from my host computer, just out of morbid curiosity. Shift and clicked refresh, but still saying the same thing. What the? On my host machine, the page just goes completely blank. It's showing up on my host machine, Although that could be cached too. Let's see if I open a private window on my host machine. What's going to happen? Yeah, I'm getting a 500 error on the host machine too, so something is really, really messed up, it seems like. Just out of curiosity, what is Nmap isn't doing anything. I have no idea how long a SN is like silent, isn't it? So it should take longer. Is this the most aggressive scan? I must go fast. Go fast. Well, I'm glad it's not entirely my fault, other than I'm the one who reset it and broke everything. Just completely blank, huh? I think I did this wrong. So I think this is probably what happened last night too, and we didn't think to look at a non-cached version of the page. But this time we had the good sense to, and it has revealed that everything is broken. These results are not what I wanted. None of these are going to be what we're looking for. Why is it only doing... Hold on. Hmm. I'm chagrined to admit I don't know. Okay. I obviously got the whack wrong. Oh, is it still going? Oh, it's still going. Alright, this is going to take forever, and I don't think it's going to produce anything. But we kind of solved a couple of the mysteries from last night, right? No wonder we couldn't get DNS working. There was no network there. It was a ghost network. All right, so let's call it here. We're slowly unraveling this mystery. I definitely think that something was tampered with on the domain controller in order to stymie Kerberos authentication. Although, how were we logging in and stuff? Who knows? Actually, let's ask the Oracle. Or maybe that guy was wrong. Yeah, I think that guy in the random Google search was wrong. I don't think it means that KDC isn't working at all. It just seems to not support a particular authentication type. Verify KDC configuration and ensure that the KDC you're communicating with supports PKI and IT. Check the correct PKI and IT configuration. Make sure that both the client and KDC are correctly configured for PKI and IT. This includes verifying certificates and ensuring that the KDC has the necessary trust and certificate authority. That can be a problem, right? I wonder if this includes verifying certificates and ensuring that the KDC has the necessary trust in the certificate authority that issued the client certificate. If the key was messed up, then it probably wouldn't have the necessary trust in the CA. Who created this room? This awful, awful room. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, by the way, check out what arrived today. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if it shows up on stream. My Mango Mini Travel Router. Mini Smart Router. Travel friendly. Flexible power supply. Powerful hardware. Open source platform. So I'm going to try to get... I have 2 routers, so I can test out 2 different ones. maybe that's what I'll do. No, with the rest of the evening, I gotta fix my NAS. I gotta upgrade my NAS hardware. Excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right. I wonder if we can. Well, whatever. I'll try to figure out how to resolve this if the network ever gets working again. And I think in future streams, I'm going to have to come up with some sort of alternative activity to do. Maybe switch to a different room or something. I have not cracked it open yet. I'm going to record the unboxing and make it part of the video that I hope to do on it. I still got to get around to the top 10 Ponagachi plugin video. I'm behind on everything. I feel like I'm just floundering here. But, yeah, I haven't opened it yet. Long story short, without becoming too maudlin, I have not opened it up yet. All right, let's check in on Trent's. Oh, looks like it's finished. I've kind of painted myself into a corner. Now that it's finished, I gotta mail it out as quickly as possible. I can't really give an ETA on that other than to say I definitely hope to have it in your hands before the end of the month. But in any event, it's not going to be like Try Hack Me where you win a prize and you never receive it. Driving you nuts, yeah. One of the things I want to get around to is I have a couple of 3D printed RC planes up there. The problem is I can't find like a control arm, like not the linkage, but like the actual arm that goes on the servo. I can't find one that is the exact length I need. And I forgot that one of the reasons I wanted a resin printer was so that I could print something with such fine detail. Sometimes I wonder if I should have just paid for the difference, because we got up to like $430 and the goal was $500. But I don't know if people would be mad at me for like violating kind of the terms of the crowdfunding agreement. I hadn't really written that in. I wonder if I can get something. I wonder if I've 3D printed like a servo control arm. I don't know if PLA would be suitable. Nylon might do it. I don't know if I could get a print with that fine of detail. However, if it were in PLA, you could heat it up and just kind of melt it in place. Or servos are cheap enough, you could probably just super glue it in place, right? Do you think that would withstand the slight pressure of the linkage? I think it would, right? I wanted to get into like the open source, like Waypoint software for the RC planes and whatnot. And I have an old school like stick and Elmer's glue RC plane that I never got off the ground too. Let's see, what projects have I completed lately? Does swapping out the nozzle on a Bamboo Labs P1P count? It should, because it was quite an ordeal. Getting my live streaming. I have a really complicated live streaming setup. Nylon would be the way to go. PLA will lose its shape with any sort of pressure on it. It might happen slowly, but it will for sure change. Yeah, the only what if, hear me out, what if, have you seen those videos where Actually, it's my new favorite YouTuber guy, especially for 3D printing stuff. Let me look up his name again so that I can give him a shout out. 3D printing. Zach something, I think. Zach Friedman. So he had a video where he would like print things halfway, insert objects like magnets, and then print over top of them. I wonder if you could print a control arm halfway, stick in just like like a small bit of wire just to reinforce the strength, and then print over it, and then you could heat up the teeth and fit it onto the servo arm. I think those would retain their shape no matter how much pressure is put on them, just because it's got nowhere to go. And then the control arm itself wouldn't bend as much because it was reinforced with that metal wire. It might make for good content too. I don't know. What's everybody's thoughts on that? Printing it halfway, putting in some metal to reinforce the length of the control arm, and then heating up the PLA so that it forms a perfect mate with the servo gear. Am I explaining this well, good enough? I don't know that I am. I have doubts that I am explaining this properly. But basically, reinforce the control arm with some wire. I think that might work. But like I said, either way, it might make for good content. That would work. I print RFID keychains where I stop the print in the middle and put an RFID chip in it, then finish the print. That's pretty cool. That would not work with an SLA printer. I was thinking I would like to print my own amiibos, like do my own like Zelda sculpt, put an RFID chip in that. Speaking of Zelda, maybe no. I haven't played video games in like almost 2 weeks now. It's pretty crazy for me. But I gotta upgrade the hardware in my free NAS case. So, all right, that's what I'm going to do. Sorry for the once again somewhat disappointing stream, given that we didn't accomplish what we set out to do. But yeah, that's that. Oh, maybe I said that wrong. SLA, I mean like in terms of like one of those resin printers. So print out like an amiibo quality like sculpture halfway, but I don't think you could stop that and put it in, especially the ones that print upside down. That'd be impossible. Maybe just I bet the best solution would just be to print a recess in the base and then glue it in there. Yep, that would be the best answer. Anyways, all right. Thank you everybody for tuning in again. Sorry that we didn't complete our task today. I don't know what the answer is. I wish we could contact the creator of the room and see what's up, or anybody at TryHackMe. Anyways, enough rambling. Thank you and goodbye. Good night.